Have you ever opened your bank statement and felt a cold sweat break out? Debts growing like weeds, dreams shelved, that ancient fear of never having enough. While you struggle, the Stoics laugh. Why do they laugh? Because Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius already knew, controlling your money starts with controlling your mind. This isn't just another miracle tips video. This is war training. The same principles that guided Roman emperors to rule empires will now guide you to rule your assets. Every minute you don't act, you lose ground. Warning, if you switch off now, you will remain hostage to abusive interest rates, invisible expenses, and the illusion that one day your luck will change. At the end, a surprise. I'll reveal the secret that made a retired doorman accumulate $280,000 in 5 years using only 2 principles from Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics didn't run away from battles, they faced them head on. This is yours. Like it. Now to make your point and activate the bell, because when I reveal strategy number 7, the most brutal, you'll want to rewatch it 3 times. Financial victory does not await the hesitant. 1. The secret is not to win more, but to lose nothing. The Stoics, like Seneca, taught that true wealth lies not in how much you accumulate, but in how much you stop wasting. Imagine your money as an army. Each dollar is a soldier who can fight on your behalf or silently desert. Most people dream of promotions and raises, while they bleed money on small, invisible expenses that, when added up, form a lost fortune. Think of Ricardo, a manager who boasted a salary of 10,000 reais, but lived in the red. His problem wasn't that he earned too little, it was that he bled too much. Every month, without realizing it, he was throwing away a third of his income on small, unnecessary luxuries. Daily delivery at work, 3 streaming services he barely watched, an expensive gym he went to once a month, and that premium bank package that offered thousands of advantages he never used. The transformation began when we applied the Stoic audit method. 3 months of bank statements exposed. Mercilessly. Each expense was classified into 3 categories, following the principles of Marco Aurelio: essential, such as housing and basic food; useful, transportation and education; and superfluous, everything else. The result was startling. 47% of the expenses were completely dispensable. The change required Stoic discipline. First, he cancelled all automatic subscriptions. Then she changed her traditional bank for a digital one with no fees. She replaced delivery services with lunchboxes prepared at home. It wasn't easy. The first few days were filled with digital abstinence and protests from the taste buds. But, as Epictetus taught, real progress comes from consciously accepting discomfort. Within 6 months, the transformation was visible. Without increasing his income by a penny, Ricardo accumulated 12,000 reais. More importantly, he developed a Stoic financial awareness. Each expense was questioned not for its immediate pleasure, but for the real value it added to his life. He discovered that true financial freedom begins with control, not abundance. The secret lies in repeating small decisions every day. Like a Stoic who practices moderation in all aspects of life, Ricardo began to ask himself, before every purchase, is this really necessary or just a momentary desire? He learned that every no to an unnecessary expense is a yes to his financial independence. The Stoic lesson is clear. Wealth isn't about having too much, it's about needing too little. When you control your desires and eliminate superfluous spending, you discover that you already earn more than you realize. The money you save turns into investments, which generate more money, creating a virtuous cycle of abundance. As Seneca would say, he is not poor who has little, but who desires much. Today, Ricardo not only has a solid financial reserve, but also a new philosophy of life. He has understood that every dollar saved is a small victory in the battle for financial freedom. His story proves that the path to prosperity lies not in earning more, but in losing less. As the Stoics taught, true wealth begins when we learn to find abundance in simplicity. 2. Create 2 bank accounts, the trap that will save you. Stoic philosophy teaches us that self-control is the basis of all virtue. In the world of finance, this translates into a fundamental principle: divide and conquer. Just as the ancient Romans separated their armies into specific legions, your money needs clear purposes and insurmountable boundaries. Think of your finances as an empire that needs 2 separate provinces, one for daily battles and one for building fortresses. The first account, sacred and untouchable, automatically receives 50% of your salary when you are paid. This is your province of obligations, where the fixed bills, the basic needs, the unavoidable commitments reside. Like a Stoic general, you need to ensure that this fortress is impregnable. Anna, a 35-year-old teacher, was constantly at war with her finances. Every month, her salary of 6,000 reais evaporated in impulsive online purchases. Her financial empire was collapsing until she discovered the Stoic division strategy. In the first month, the change was painful, like any liberation process. Her hands trembled every time she received a promotion notification, but the liabilities account was shielded. The second account for variable expenses acted as a training ground for her discipline. Anna could only use these resources after ensuring that all her obligations had been met. As Epictetus taught, no man is free unless he is master of himself. This account became her daily exercise in self-mastery. The process of transformation followed the path predicted by the Stoics. First comes the pain of change, then adaptation, and finally, the pleasure of virtue. In the third month, something extraordinary happened. Anna discovered a new form of pleasure. Seeing her bill grow, untouched, generated more satisfaction than any impulse purchase. It was the materialization of the Stoic principle that true happiness comes from internal control, not external possessions. The magic of this strategy lies in its relentless simplicity. Like a Stoic ritual, the automatic division of salary removes the need for daily decisions, eliminating the wear and tear on willpower. It's as Marcus Aurelius taught, the strictest discipline is that which we impose on ourselves. By automating financial virtue, you remove temptation from the path. Today, Anna has not only balanced her finances, she has transformed her relationship with money. The account for obligations has become her temple of tranquility, while the account for variable spending has become an exercise in awareness and moderation. As Seneca would say, he is not poor who has little, but who desires much. True wealth, she discovered, lies in control, not consumption. This strategy isn't just about money, it's about building an unshakable financial character. When you divide your accounts with Stoic purpose, you're not just organizing numbers, you're forging a new identity. An identity of someone who commands their finances with the same discipline as a Roman emperor commanded his legions. 3. Controlled. Desperation. When money is short, multiply. The Stoics taught that every adversity carries with it a hidden opportunity. When money gets tight and desperation knocks at the door, most people run for loans, sinking further into debt. But there is a wiser way, inspired by the Stoic philosophy of turning obstacles into stepping stones. Think of your home as an uncharted financial battlefield. Every non-essential object is a sleeping soldier, waiting to be summoned to fight on your behalf. This is not a question of poverty, but of strategy. As Marcus Aurelius taught, the obstacle in the way becomes the way. His apparent lack of resources is actually an invitation to reinvent his relationship with material possessions. João, a marketing professional who has been unemployed for 3 months, discovered this truth the hard way. With bills piling up and fear growing, he could have given in to panic and sought loans. Instead, he applied the Stoic principle of objective evaluation. He examined every item in his home, not with emotional attachment, but with calculated pragmatism. The process was methodical and liberating. A guitar he hadn't played for years, sneakers bought on impulse, redundant electronic equipment. Each item was photographed, priced, and advertised on OLX. In 2 weeks, he transformed inert objects into 3,000 reais of liquid capital. Like a Stoic general, he converted stagnant resources into ammunition for his survival. But the real transformation came later. Instead of using all the money to cover expenses, João divided it up following the Stoic principle of balance, half for immediate needs, half for investment. With 500 reais, he started a small handmade sweets operation, applying his existing knowledge of digital marketing. The Stoic lesson came true. From necessity came innovation. Within 6 months, his small online sweet store was making 15,000 reais a month. The same man who used to sell possessions out of desperation now hires employees. As Seneca would say, fortune favors the prepared mind. João didn't just survive the crisis, he transcended it. This is not just a case of entrepreneurial success, but a profound lesson in adaptability and letting go. Every object in your home that doesn't serve an immediate purpose is an opportunity disguised as dust. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true wealth does not lie in accumulating, but in knowing how to transform what we already have into something greater. Today, João keeps a monthly inventory of his belongings, not out of fear of another crisis, but as a practice of financial freedom. Every item in his house needs to justify its existence or be converted into growth potential. This is the essence of controlled desperation, turning the fear of scarcity into a catalyst for abundance. The message is clear. When money runs short, don't despair. Look around with the eyes of a strategist. Your home isn't just a dumping ground for things, it's a bank of opportunities waiting to be tapped. As the Stoics taught, true wealth lies in the ability to adapt, not in the quantity of possessions. 4. Retire your cards, the war envelope method. The ancient Stoics preached that self-control begins with the tangibility of actions. In today's digital world, credit cards are like weightless swords. They cut through funds without immediate pain. The war envelope method resurrects ancient wisdom. When you feel money physically slip out of your hands, your mind awakens to the reality of spending. The power of this technique lies in its brutal simplicity. Imagine each envelope as a small fortress, protecting you against the invisible enemy of impulsive consumerism. Marcos, a sales executive, found this out the hard way. With 32,000 in card debts, he lived in a vicious cycle of digital purchases that seemed unrealistic until the fateful day of the bill. The transformation began when he applied the Stoic principle of materiality. Every month, his salary was converted into physical envelopes. Food received 30%, transportation 15%, leisure 10%. Like a general dividing resources among his troops, each penny had its specific mission. The rule was as inflexible as the laws of Marcus Aurelius. When the envelope was empty, that category of expenditure was closed until next month. The first few days were a war against himself. Without cards, Marcos had to plan every move. Before leaving the house, he calculated how much he would need to take with him. The simple act of opening an envelope and seeing the bills dwindling created an awareness that no finance app could reproduce. As Epictetus taught, freedom is not achieved by satisfying every desire, but by removing the need. Within 2 months, the financial metamorphosis was evident. Marcos not only paid off 8,000 in debts, he developed a new relationship with money. Each note in his envelopes had weight, history, and purpose. The same man who used to buy on impulse now thought 3 times before breaking the seal on an envelope. The Stoic philosophy materialized in every purchasing decision. The envelope method isn't just a financial control technique, it's an exercise in presence and awareness. When you have to physically open an envelope, count bills and see what's left, every purchase becomes a conscious decision. As Seneca would say, he is not poor who has little, but who wants more than he has. Today, even with his finances in balance, Marcos keeps the envelope system, not out of necessity, but as a practice of financial virtue. The cards remain at home, emerging only for planned expenses. Each envelope is a daily reminder that true wealth lies not in spending more, but in spending with purpose and awareness. The lesson is clear. To master your finances, make them tangible, turn digital numbers into real paper. Let each note tell a story of discipline. As the Stoics taught, real change begins when we turn philosophy into concrete action. Your envelopes aren't just money dividers, they're walls against the financial chaos of the modern world. 5. Invest like an angry poor man. The 100 kings that turned 1,000. The ancient Stoics taught that true wealth comes not from great inherited fortunes, but from ruthless discipline with small daily actions. In the world of finance, this translates into a brutal truth. No matter how little you have, every penny can and should be turned into a soldier in the war for your financial freedom. Imagine each 100 real note as a seed that, planted in the right soil, can generate an entire forest. Maria, a 52-year-old seamstress from the interior of São Paulo, understood this deeply. With a modest monthly income of 2,200 reais, she could have settled for the common narrative of not being able to invest. Instead, she embraced the Stoic philosophy of immediate detachment from future gain. Every month, without fail, Maria set aside 200 reais as if it were an obligatory bill. It wasn't money left over, it was money she deliberately chose not to spend. Like a Stoic general preparing his army, she directed these funds to 2 battlefronts, 70% to the Selic treasury, guaranteeing security, and 30% to selected shares in traditional banks, seeking growth. The first few months were a war against herself. Every penny invested felt like a small death, a coffee not drunk, a garment not bought, a small pleasure postponed. But Maria had learned from Stoic philosophy that true pleasure does not lie in immediate satisfaction, but in patiently building the future. As Seneca would say, it's not because things are difficult that we don't dare, it's because we don't dare that things are difficult. Within 3 years, the metamorphosis began to reveal itself. Compound interest, that force that Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world, began to work in his favor. Every 200 reais a month not only added up, but multiplied. Money began to generate money, creating an army that fought for it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. After 8 years of this Stoic discipline, Maria had accumulated 28,000 reais. It wasn't just a sum, it was the materialization of 96 months of unwavering determination. This amount became the down payment for her first apartment, an achievement that many people with higher incomes find impossible. As Stoicism teaches, it's not the size of the obstacle that matters, but the firmness of your determination. Today, Maria continues to invest, but with a new perspective. Each 100 real note is no longer seen as little money, but as a fundamental brick in the construction of her financial empire. She has understood the deepest Stoic truth about money. Wealth is not in its value, but in the discipline with which you multiply it. The lesson is clear. Don't wait until you have money to spare to invest. Like a Stoic, turn every penny into a conscious decision to build wealth. Time is your greatest ally, and consistency your most powerful weapon. Remember, an angry poor person with Stoic discipline is worth more than a purposeless rich person. 6. The dark side of your job. Time to exploit your bosses. The corporate world is an arena where only the strong survive, and the Stoics already knew power is not asked for, it is earned. While most professionals beg for raises based on length of service, true strategists turn results into irrefutable bargaining chips. Think of your job as an investment the company makes. Every penny spent on your salary needs to generate a multiplied return. When you learn to quantify that return in hard cash, the conversation changes dramatically. It's no longer about how much you want to earn, but about how much you've already made the company earn. Stoic wisdom teaches us that true power comes from the ability to demonstrate value in an indisputable way. Imagine each of your projects as a bank account. How much came in, how much went out, what the real profit was. A pretty PowerPoint presentation doesn't pay the bills. Scary numbers on the company's bank statement do. The market is full of professionals who think that doing a good job is enough. Deadly mistake. If you can't translate your deliverables into money, you're just taking up space. Every report must turn into revenue. Every initiative must have a measurable financial impact. Your job isn't just to perform tasks, it's to generate wealth. Keep meticulous records of every penny your actions have generated or saved for the company. Document productivity increases in percentages, convert time saved into money, turn customer satisfaction into reduced support costs. When your boss looks at these figures, he'll feel a chill run down his spine as he imagines you working for his competitor. The art lies in presenting these figures at the right time. Don't wait for the annual evaluation. Create monthly financial impact reports. When the time comes to negotiate, you won't be asking for a raise. You'll be presenting an invoice for the profits generated. If the company hesitates to pay, the market is full of competitors hungry for professionals who know how to turn work into money. Remember, your value is not in what you do, but in the financial impact you generate. Like a modern Stoic, turn your every action into a monetary result. When your numbers are big enough to cause discomfort, you will have found your true negotiating strength. Your career isn't about waiting for recognition. It's about building an empire of results so impressive that ignoring them would be business suicide. If your current company doesn't recognize your value, use those numbers as a passport to new territory. In the end, he who has the numbers has the power. 7. Signature hunting. The silent enemy that sucks away your account. In the modern world, digital signatures are like little parasites that silently drain our wealth. In 2025, the average Brazilian spends $241 a month on video streaming services alone, not counting other subscriptions such as music, exercise, apps and subscription clubs that they never use. The Silver family's case is emblematic of this battle against automatic consumption. Like true modern Stoics, they decided to take a brutal inventory of all their monthly subscriptions. The result was frightening. $89 in video streams they barely watched, $49 in a gym they visited once a month, $29 in a forgotten meditation app, $39 in unread digital magazines, $69 in an underused wine club, and $40 in various other ghost services. The transformation began with a fundamental Stoic principle: eliminate everything that doesn't add real value. It wasn't enough to reduce, it had to be zeroed out. Like a general burning bridges to prevent a retreat, the family cancelled all their subscriptions at once. The initial vacuum was uncomfortable, the fear of losing something important, the anxiety of not having access to certain content. But then came the most important phase: conscious reconstruction. They established an inflexible rule. They would only resubscribe to services used at least 3 times a week. No, I'll use it one day, or it's good to have it as a guarantee. Every penny had to justify its existence in the family budget. Of the 7 services cancelled, only 2 proved their worth and were rehired. The monthly saving of $317 was directed towards an investment in gold, following the Stoic principle of seeking lasting value rather than momentary satisfaction. In 5 years, that money that had previously evaporated in unused services was transformed into a solid asset of $30,000. The lesson was clear. Small financial leaks, when ignored, sink even the largest ships. Today, the family maintains a monthly ritual of auditing subscriptions. Each service needs to constantly prove its worth. There is no status quo. Every subscription is considered guilty until proven innocent through frequent use and real added value. This constant vigilance has become an exercise in financial self-discipline. The method is simple, but requires stoic courage. Cancel everything today. Let a month pass. Write down every moment when you really missed a service. If after 30 days you haven't felt the real need for that subscription, you've just discovered a financial leak that was sabotaging your prosperity. Remember, every dollar you save on unnecessary services is a warrior recruited to fight in the army of your financial independence. True wealth does not lie in having access to everything, but in paying only for what you really use and value. As a modern Stoic would say, your wallet doesn't need more signatures, it needs more discernment. 8. The gig revolution. Turn 2 hours. A day into a gold mine. Time is the most precious resource we have, and the Stoics have known this for centuries. While most people waste 2 hours a day on social media, true strategists turn that time into a financial fortress. It's not about working harder, it's about working with relentless purpose. Imagine every minute as a gold coin waiting to be collected. In a world where 45% of Brazilians already do some kind of odd job to survive, the difference lies in turning this necessity into a strategy. It's not about survival, it's about empire building. 2 hours a day, directed with Stoic discipline, can generate more than an extra salary. It can create your financial independence. The secret lies in uncompromising consistency. Like a general who trains his troops every day, you need to establish a sacred routine with these 2 hours. From 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., while others are still sleeping, app drivers have already achieved half of their daily target. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., while many are watching television, private online teachers turn knowledge into gold. The choice of job is not random, it must be strategic. An English-speaking teacher can easily charge $50 per hour for private online lessons. A marketing professional can offer social media management for $800 per month per client. A skilled seamstress can earn an extra $2,000 a month just by adjusting clothes in her spare time. But beware, the real revolution isn't in earning more, it's in how you manage that extra money. Like a modern-day Stoic, you need to be ruthless with your finances. Establish an inviolable rule. 70% of all extra income goes straight into investments, not to savings, to real investments, which generate more money. The other 30% forms your emergency reserve, your wall against unforeseen events. Financial transformation requires military discipline. It doesn't matter if you're tired, if it's raining, if it's cold. Your 2 hours are as sacred as the training sessions of an Olympic athlete. Every minute wasted is money you'll never see again. Every excuse is a battle lost in the war for your financial freedom. The power of this strategy lies in its brutal simplicity. It doesn't need huge initial investments. It doesn't require extraordinary skills. It only needs your unwavering determination to turn time into money and money into freedom. Like an ancient Stoic, you learn that true wealth lies not in how much you earn, but in how much you transform. Remember, You're not just doing a day job, you're building a financial empire, brick by brick, minute by minute. Time will pass anyway. The question is, will it pass building your fortress or feeding your regrets? 9. The power of impossible goals. How to trick your brain into getting rich. The human brain is a survival machine programmed to seek comfort and avoid challenges. But the Stoics discovered something revolutionary. When you set a seemingly impossible goal with a defined deadline and value, your brain goes into warrior mode. It's no longer about saving money. It's about achieving a specific goal that will change your life. Vague goals like save money or get rich are mental traps that lead to procrastination. Your brain needs a concrete target, something so specific that it seems daunting. When you define, I need $5,000 in 6 months for a professional barista course, your subconscious starts working 24 hours a day, looking for opportunities that you would normally ignore. The transformation happens when you materialize this goal. Create an altar of motivation, pictures of the course, the certificate, the dream coffee shop, the desired salary. Each image is a direct order to your brain. This isn't a dream, it's a project in the making. Your mural isn't decoration, it's a visual command that reprograms your mind to look for earning opportunities at all times. The magic lies in the brutal mathematics of the daily goal. $5,000 in 6 months means $833 a month, 28 a day. Suddenly that impossible goal becomes an achievable daily mission. Your brain stops seeing the whole mountain and focuses on climbing one step at a time. Each coin saved is no longer just one reel. It's 3.5% of your daily goal. The power of this strategy lies in its ability to turn deprivation into investment. When you have a clear goal, not buying a $15 snack isn't a sacrifice. It's an investment decision that brings you 53% closer to your daily goal. Every no to a superfluous expense is a yes to your bigger goal. The story of Ricardo, the doorman turned coffee shop manager, illustrates this principle perfectly. He wasn't selling water in traffic. He was buying his future in daily installments of $300. Each bottle sold wasn't just money, it was a brick in the construction of his new career. Within 6 months, not only had he reached his goal, but he discovered that he had developed sales skills that would be crucial in his new profession. Your brain is like a guided missile. It needs exact coordinates to hit its target. When you set a specific goal with a defined deadline and an exact amount, you activate ancestral neurological systems of hunting and survival. It's no longer about trying to save money. It's about hunting and capturing specific prey. True financial transformation begins when you stop wanting to save money and start financing your impossible goals. Each goal achieved doesn't just improve your financial situation, it reprograms your brain to seek ever greater challenges. Like an athlete who gradually increases the weights he lifts, you strengthen your financial muscle with each goal achieved. 10. Escape the matrix, the rich man's secret to never paying bills. The modern financial system is a trap designed to keep you forever in debt. While the masses drown in endless installments, the true masters of finance follow a fundamental Stoic rule: never buy what you can't pay for immediately. Credit is not a tool. It's an invisible chain. True financial freedom begins when you break the cycle of installments. Imagine every purchase as a battle where you have 2 options: surrender to the interest system or earn your discount up front. When you pay immediately, you're not just saving, you're buying your future freedom. The power of cash negotiation is a lost art that needs to be rescued. In a world where salespeople are trained to push installments, your offer of immediate payment is a powerful weapon. Traders prefer cash in hand today to promises of future payment. Use this to your advantage. With every purchase, your first question should be, what's the cash discount? The transformation begins with a radical change in mentality. For large purchases such as cars or furniture, Stoic discipline requires you to get the money together first. Sound impossible? That's exactly what the system wants you to think. While others finance cars in 60 installments, you quietly accumulate your war chest, ready to pounce when the time is right. For smaller purchases, the rule is even more inflexible. If you can't afford it today, don't buy it. That new pair of sneakers can wait another month. That latest model cell phone, only when the money is in the bank. This isn't a question of deprivation. It's a declaration of independence against the system that profits from your impulsiveness. Juliana's case illustrates this principle perfectly. By saving money for 2 years to buy her car in cash, she didn't just save $8,000 in discounts. She turned this savings into a perpetual source of income through CDBs. Now, every month while others pay installments, she receives her $80 in interest. Her money works for her, not for the banks. The financial matrix thrives on her haste, on her anxiety to have everything now. But the Stoic warrior knows that true wealth is built with uncompromising patience. Every cash purchase is a battle, one in the war for financial freedom. Every discount negotiated is a brick in the wall of your economic fortress. Remember, the banking system is not your friend, it's your predator. The only way to win is to refuse to play its game. Collect money like a monk, negotiate like a merchant, and pay cash like a king. Your financial freedom begins when your debts end. The wisdom of the Stoics teaches us that true wealth is not about having too much, but needing too little. You've just discovered 10 brutal strategies that can transform your financial reality immediately. These are not magic tricks or empty promises. They are war tactics tried and tested by those who have already won this battle. Think of every penny as a soldier in your financial army. Every decision you make today, whether it's canceling an unnecessary subscription, investing $100 in shares, or turning 2 free hours into gold, is a battle won in the war for your independence. The time to act is now. While others remain trapped in the matrix of endless debts and installments, you have the chance to break this cycle. Like a Stoic general, you now have the weapons to build your financial empire, brick by brick, decision by decision. Don't let this knowledge die in this video. Start today. Grab a sheet of paper and write down your impossible goals. Make your goal wall. Cancel those subscriptions. Declare war on waste. Your financial freedom is just one decision away. If this video has opened your eyes to new possibilities, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs this transformation. Hit like right now. It helps more people discover these life-changing strategies. Activate the bell and subscribe to the channel. Next week, I'll reveal more Stoic tactics for multiplying your income and shielding your assets. Let me know in the comments which strategy you're going to implement first. Write "starting today" to seal your commitment to your financial freedom. The battle for your financial independence begins now. Are you ready for this revolution?